Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. This is my first video of many on factoring. You'll see in the top left corner of the screen there, it says factoring. I want to build factoring from the ground up. Factoring is something many people have heard of. It's in many math courses. There's many different types of factoring, but actually factoring, like math in general, it builds. So you start with a simple type of factoring and it gets more and more complicated, building on the knowledge you already have. Factoring is great. It's super useful in many things, not just math, but in science and physics and chemistry. Factoring is a big deal. It really is. So we're going to talk about it from the ground up. So the most simple type of factoring is finding a greatest common factor. Also GCF. I'm going to say GCF from now on. But before we talk about how to find a GCF, a greatest common factor, I want to talk about what it is. Maybe in math we talk about how to do things too much and not what they are. It's important to have both. You want to know how to do something, you want to know what something is. So we'll start with what is the greatest common factor. Well, before we can talk about what is the greatest common factor, we have to answer the question, what is a factor in general? What is a factor? This isn't the formal definition. If you Google it, it'll probably come up as something different. I can use my own words here. But what is a factor? A factor is a number that divides another number, a different number. This is just informal definition. The formal definition would be A is a factor of B if A divides B. Boom. Where A and B are both numbers. Anyways, So let's start with an example. Example 3. Well, 3 divides 6, right? Therefore, 3 is a factor of 6. 3 divides 6 because 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay, boom. Hopefully that makes sense. So a factor is a number that divides a different number, where they're all integers. We're just working with integers for now. Okay, moving forward, if that's a factor, what would a common factor be? We're just going to stick with two numbers for simplicity's sake. A common factor. Therefore, a common factor. Well, math actually kind of is always, we try to keep it as logical as possible. So the word common is chosen on purpose. What does common usually mean? Something in common. Two people have something in common. They have a shared characteristic. Same as numbers. Two numbers have something in common. They have a common factor. If a number divides both those numbers. A common factor is a number of two numbers is a number that divides both of the two numbers. Okay, let's go back to another example. We always like examples. So 3 divides 6. 3 also divides 12, right? So 3 divides, because 12 divided by 3 is 4. 3 divides 12 and 6. Therefore, 3 is a common factor of 12 and 6. So 12 and 6 both have a factor of 3. It's a common factor of those two numbers. Hopefully that makes sense. We're almost there. We have what a factor is. We have what a common factor is. What is a greatest common factor? A GCF. Look, you could probably guess. The greatest common factor of two numbers is the largest factor that both those numbers have in common. That's my own English, of course. Google might give you a different definition. The GCF of two numbers is the largest common factor of those two numbers. Boom, boom, boom. Love it. Okay. GCF of two numbers is the largest common factor of those two numbers. So let's take a look at 12 and 6 again. Is 3 the largest number that divides 12 and 6? Let's write it out. 6. What divides 6? Well, 1 divides 6. 6 divided by 1 is 6. 2 divides 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 divides 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 6 divides 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. Take a look at 12. 1 divides 12, 2 divides 12, 3 divides 12, 4 divides 12, 6 divides 12, 12 divides 12. Nice, love it. Well, what is the largest common factor? Well, we see 1 is common. 1 divides both of them. You find that's true for all numbers. 2 divides both of them. 3 divides 6 and 12, but also 6 divides 6 and 12. So the GCF of 6 and 12 is 6. That's what a greatest common factor is. Now, this isn't the best way to find a GCF. In the next video, I'm going to show you a better way, a more insightful way. Because if you have bigger numbers and you're trying to find the GCF of them, it can take a while if you just write out all the factors of each number and then find the biggest one. Like, that's going to take a while. So we'll come up with a better way to do this in the next video. Stay tuned. One last thing. The way you write, so GCF of 6 and 12 is 6. Mathematically, how you would write that is GCF 6, 12 equals 6. We'll start using that from now on. That means the same thing. Greatest common factor of 6 and 12 is 6. Anyways, in the next video, I'm going to show, we call it finding the greatest common factor by prime factorization. That's a lot of big words. We'll break it down in the next video. Hopefully you found this helpful, and thank you for watching.